You're listening to The Recovery Switch, where victory lives, with Nicole Elizabeth Squires, only on LA Talk Radio.
Well, welcome to The Recovery Switch, and thank you for joining us today. Today, our guest is Sharon Youngblood. She's going to share with us the new song called Save Me. And Watina Alexander, she's here to tell her story about sexual abuse, drug-addicted parenting, and showing how you can recover from the situation. So right now, let's turn to Sharon. Everyone who don't know and some who does knows she's my daughter. And she is releasing her album. She has an Indiegogo fund program that she's doing right now. And she wanted to, I asked her to share with me one of her songs, and she's sharing Save Me. And Save Me, you got to tell me a little bit about Save Me before we play it.
Sure. Hey, Ma.
Hi.
So Save Me is pretty much about a girl who's in a really tough relationship. I'll say a bad relationship. And you know those times when girls kind of, they force themselves to kind of get over it or push through it, or, you know, through their bad relationship, through whatever, you know, the troubles or whatever you're going through. And this girl is pretty much saying, save me from myself. So that pretty much means, you know, instead of getting out the bad relationship, instead of getting through and just letting go of this guy, she stays in it, you know, and she stays in it, she pushes through it. And so it's pretty much saying save me from myself, because she doesn't need to be in it. She doesn't need to be in this bad relationship. So it's like, take me out of this place. Somebody help me. Somebody save me. Somebody pull me out of this dark place that I'm in, that I'm keep giving it to this guy. So that pretty much sums up the song.
And does this relate to anything that happened when you wrote it?
Sure. Yeah, you know, we've all been through bad relationships, you know, and so, of course, I've been in that place where I'm like, why am I still in this? Why am I still making myself suffer? And just give myself to this man who doesn't really know how to treat me, or doesn't know how to call me and you know, see me as a woman that I'm supposed to be seen as. So,
yeah. When you told me Save Me, I thought it was appropriate for the man, because for this show, I felt like Save Me represents saving you from pain, saving me from situations. Just save me.
Yeah.
Because somebody help me, because a lot of people are in dark places right now, and they just want somebody to reach down and save them.
Right.
So I thought that was so good. Although with sexual abuse, you're asking for somebody to save you from
everything.
That's everything.
Anything that doesn't bring you hope or light.
So
sure.
I thought it was a good song and appropriate. Now, I know it is on Kiki Share?
Right.
Sorry.
Yes. Kiara shared, Kiki shared.
Yeah, Kiki
yes, she actually did this song for her record. It's been out for maybe about, I don't know, maybe 8 months now. I'm not sure exactly the timeline, but she does have it on her album. She's performed it, and it's very exciting.
Oh, I was excited for you.
Good.
So if you can, Chuck Mason, who is our sound guy for the day.
Hey, everybody.
Can you please?
I'm not going to say everybody's looking mighty fabulous tonight, too.
Well, thank you.
Beautiful, just beautiful. Yeah.
So can you play the song? Because I want to share it with everyone.
All right, let's do that.
Tantalizing thoughts in my head, words that keep ringing of what you said. How can it be over when you just got me to believe? Yeah, was I a chess in your game, knowing I'm one that you can't replace, mirroring scars from the past I was meant to escape? Yeah, is this
That was on point right there. What do you think,
It
Watina?
was awesome.
Thank you.
Lovely.
Thank you.
Love it.
It's
Beautiful.
like, wow, that's so on
Yeah.
time. Save me from myself. How many times
it.
have we been in that position
Right.
where like,
Many times.
save me
Wow.
from
Feel like you're
myself?
drowning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like listening to the words, and it's just like so deep.
Yeah.
And I just I appreciate you sharing that. And as we listening to the Save Me song, I want to get to Watina. You are ex-model, had a modeling agency. That's where we first met.
Yes.
And well, I shouldn't say ex-model, older, mature model. And now you're a motivational speaker, and you do many things. So I wanted to let the world know a little bit about your story. Your story is so moving and emotional and empowering at the same time. So as we come from Save Me, I'd like you to tell me a little bit about your life. I know you were molested from the age of 5 to 11. Mind you, I did not know that until in the last few years, because she carries such a great face and a smile, you know, and she covers it so well. But so let me know, let everyone know a little bit about your life story.
Well, as you said, it was for 6 whole years of my life, and it's so and just listen to her song when it says "Save Me," and that's all you can think of when that's happening. It's like somebody come in and help me, save me, get me out of the situation. And as a 5-year-old, how do you do that? You know, I can still remember it as if it was yesterday. You know, in the living room, we lived in an apartment. I can even tell that we stayed on Hudson Street in Detroit, in apartment number 9.
Oh, wow.
And my mom's bedroom their bedroom was right at the head of me, like to the east of me, and then they had the pull-out couch that I had to sleep on, which is what we call a futon now, the lay down couch. Just laid it down, but they called it a pull-out couch.
Right.
And this one night, my stepfather just came and got in the bed with me and told me if I said anything or did anything, I was going to get a whooping, and sexually molested me. My mom was in her room asleep. She had no idea what was going on, and I was told I better not make a sound. So, of course, 5 years old, what do? I do what I'm told. And I didn't make a sound. I cried, and it was a silent cry.
Oh, wow.
Nobody heard it. So it was like, somebody save me. She didn't even wake up. The next day, I'm 5 years old in kindergarten. I go to school, no panties, just go to school. Get up, get dressed, skirt on, and went to school.
Wow.
Nobody knew.
She didn't.
Yeah.
She didn't dress you. She didn't check you. Nothing.
No, I was old enough to dress myself. I dressed myself and went to school.
Wow. Wow. And so this continued night after night, or was it frequent?
Not night. It was frequent, but not night after night. It was at least 3 or 4 times a week.
Oh, wow.
For 5 years of my life.
Oh, wow. So at the age of 11, it stopped.
It stopped.
Do you know any reason why it stopped?
I don't know the reason why it was stopped. I just was happy it stopped.
Wow.
to say the least.
Yeah.
It's like God saved you at that point.
Yeah, he did. He did save me.
So in this process, your mom got on drugs at 10.
When I turned 10, that's when my mom and my stepfather started using drugs.
And then your great-grandmother was a part of your life also.
Always. She was always in my life.
So, but you told me the story that you were taking care of your siblings at the age of 10.
Yes.
And even the things that your grandmother gave you to take back to the house, you know, your mother, the people around would steal the stuff from you, right?
It wasn't steal. They just took it and sold it.
Okay, still took it and sold it.
I'm 10 years old. They didn't have to steal
Right.
They just take it, leave the house, and sell it for drugs.
So, with you being a 11-year-old, having to take care of your siblings. Describe what that meant.
That meant making sure they were dressed, fed, and clothed.
Fed.
Fed. So if we had no food in the house, I was the one who made sure there was food there. That means if I had to go out and steal food, guess what I did? I went out and stole food so me and my brothers and sisters could eat.
Wow. And when did you get to a point that you finally, well, I'm assuming you've never told your mom at 11. When did you actually tell her, or what's going on? I'm confused. Your mom is right there. So when does she find out?
She finds out when I turned 16 years old after I had my first child.
Okay. So you had your first child at 16, and you told her. What was her response?
She didn't believe me. She just told me I didn't like him and I was lying on him because I did not like him.
And this was your fear, right?
Yeah. Well, it was my fear, and to me it was a fact. Because as I grew up, she would tell us, I don't believe what anybody says about him unless I see it myself. So that's something I heard from day one. And then he would do things and tell her things, and then I would get a whooping. So it's like it was a fact to me. It wasn't a fear, it was a fact to me. So by it being that fact, it's like I wouldn't say anything because I knew that if I did, I wasn't going to be heard. I had no voice. I was like a child with no voice. Nobody heard me. Nobody saw me. And that's how I felt.
So when your mom didn't accept the reality, how did you get her to accept this reality? Or did she ever accept that reality?
She didn't accept it from me, but my brother overheard us talking about it. And when I left the house, he told her. He said, Mom, she's not lying. I actually saw him and her trying to fighting with him to push him off of her.
Wow.
And it did happen. And I saw it. And not only did I see it, my little sister, he said my little mama saw it, my sister.
Okay. Did she accept it?
She accepted it.
Did she leave him?
No. She is like, okay, I know that he did do it. But no, she did not leave him.
Okay. You said at the time she's pregnant at the same time you're pregnant, right?
At 16. Yeah, with my last brother.
With your last brother, Mark. So do you think she didn't accept it because of the drugs that was going on with her, or that she was just so in love that and she was going through denial?
Actually, I really can't say if it was the drugs or denial or what it was that made her not believe me. She didn't believe me, but she had to accept it. Now, why she did not leave him, I can't say. To this day, I really can't say. But I know at one time she told me, she said, I tried to leave him, but he followed me. I'm like, well, he followed you, didn't mean you had to let him in.
Right.
But, it happened. And that's what I had to deal with in my childhood.
Yeah, that is extremely hard for anyone to have to deal with. But what makes me so stunned in this whole situation is that you've become a person that's so giving, so caring. Matter of fact, right now I know you're taking care of your mother, and you do it with honor. So, with all these stages that you have, you've gone through, how did you get to turn it around? How did you it became this person that's so resilient and so determined? You became a model. You had a modeling agency. That's when we met. I had my music production company. But what is it in you that makes you this person that's so resilient and so happy and so loving?
Well, you know that a song, a praying grandmama? I had one of those. That lady prayed and prayed, and she was there for me. She showed me love. She nurtured me. She comforted me. She was there for me. And not only me, but my family. And she instilled a lot of morals and things within me that I probably wouldn't have got if it hadn't been for her.
Did you tell her about the situation?
After I got older.
Not at 16?
Not while I was not I think I told her about 17, 18.
And what was her response?
Why you didn't tell me? Because and then all of my response was, I was scared. You know, I mean, after hearing constantly, you're going to get a whooping, and seeing that and hearing constantly, I don't believe in it until I see it. And how can you see it? My mom could see it if she wasn't there. Right. So for me to be able to tell her, I already knew in my heart that she wasn't going to believe me. And then when I did tell her, what I felt was true.
Right.
So it was like I couldn't tell because I knew I was going to get in trouble, and I didn't want to. I didn't know that I could go to someone else and tell because it wasn't my thought. I'm a kid.
Right.
I haven't comprehended that I can go to another adult in my family and tell them that they may be able to help me. And that's part of the problem when you're being abused.
Right.
Is that you don't think about everybody else around you that you might be able to tell because you're scared.
Right.
And you have to overcome that fear. And then you're thinking, okay, what did I do to make this happen? Mm-hmm. So you have to overcome the fear of what can I do who can I go to? And then at the same time, how can I get over what everybody thinking it's my fault?
Yeah. Well, I know there's a lot of people going through what you're going through because the statistics says 42 million people are molested in America every day. So I'm not every day, but overall, 42 million people, and 1 out of 4 women are molested, and 1 out of 6 children, boys are molested. Usually done by a step parent or single parents seem to have a lot of the problems. More African, Latino, over whites, disabled kids are getting molested. So the statistics even say that children are more molested than adults.
Because children are scared to speak.
Yeah, but it's not an issue that is readily talked about because so many kids, they said 47% of children are too afraid to come out and say it. But there are so many programs and things that are done for adults that are raped. But the children issue is it needs to be dealt with, helped, because so many broken adults are coming out of this molestation situation. Maybe we could talk about the fact of how did you recover?
Well, like I said at the beginning, I had a praying grandma that prayed for me, and she nurtured me, and she taught me. And through her prayers and her teaching, it helped me come out of feeling like I was by myself and alone. When it happened, all I can think about is, what did I do to cause this to happen?
Yeah.
What am I doing that's making him want to do this to me? And then at the same time that he's doing this, I'm being told, you know I love you, right? Really?
What kind of love you gonna have for a 5-year-old that way? Really.
So you're constantly hearing this, and you don't know how to deal with this as a 5-year-old child.
Well, he says that there's a caller.
We lost it.
Okay, that's
We'll
okay.
call back.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then with that, and my grandmother putting me in different activities and keeping me with her, and all I can do is say, but God.
Right.
Because that's the only way I could make it through all this.
Well, with all the people going through depression and in pain, I know your grandmother's there. Some of them don't have grandmothers. Some of them, everybody has abandoned them. And can you give them a word of advice, a word of help to, show them that they don't have to stay down? There is recovery, because you are always so traveling, moving forward, doing this. I mean, she's so like, come on, let's go. And she's feeding everybody, and you're always doing something. something happened in you that, besides your grandmother, but you're such a determined individual.
And that
You
was-
refuse to let anybody
That
tell
was
you.
grandmother too.
Okay.
Because what she used to tell me is my greatest revenge for anybody was my
Caller's
success.
Want to take the call?
Yes, sure.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Here we go. Thank you for calling Recovery Switch. Hello?
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing fine.
Okay, I'd like to comment on Nicole. I'm listening to the show. I'd like to, first of all, thank you for sharing the stories, and to the young lady in the black jacket, you have a great story. I want to share something that's personal. This is a very touchy subject, but my mother herself was a victim of one of her own brothers.
Oh, wow.
And, you know, it's not a story that I share much. My name's Dion. You know, it's, I heard you speaking about how people try to make you feel comfortable. I love you. I do this. I do that. And, you know, her older brother took advantage of her as a 8-year-old girl.
Oh, my
And
gosh.
he was 12 or 13 at that time. And she didn't know better. When you're dealing with a teenage boy and you're an elementary kid, it's a big age difference. It doesn't seem like it, but it really is. It's a big influence over you.
Yeah.
It is.
And-
My prayers and thoughts go to everyone who shared their stories.
Dion, I
Nicole-
appreciate you
sorry.
telling your story and to sharing this with us and calling in. Because, you know, more of this need to be, people need to hear more about this because too much of it has been hidden for so long.
Too long.
Yeah, it is. Thank you guys for taking the call, and keep your heads together, and you just have to keep fighting people that are like this. And I think that they need to be exposed a lot more than what they are, because a lot of times these things go unheard of because no one speaks about it out of fear. But deep down, those people that do these things are cowards. They will
Yes,
not
they are.
do
You said
anything in retaliation. You'd be amazed. Once you expose them, they get embarrassed and go and hide.
Oh, yeah.
So please, everyone who's listening, don't be scared to come forward. Speak your voice. Speak your mind. Tell everybody.
Oh,
That
yes.
coward
Great.
will tuck their tail.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you,
Well,
Dion.
yeah,
Thank
thank
you
you,
so
Dion.
much.
We appreciate your call.
Awesome. Thank you.
Oh, God
All right.
bless.
Take care.
He is so on it. It's
Yes,
like,
he is.
that's why we're doing this. We want to let
Yeah.
everyone know out there that, you know, there is recovery for your pain, your hurt, your loneliness, the emptiness, and everything that's been taken from you as a child. It was taken, and you didn't give it.
That's
and that's
right.
not a form of love
It's not.
in any way, shape, or form. So, you know, it's time. The only way to recover is to speak up. Speak up, and I don't care if you're 50 years old. If this happened to you, open your mouth and let someone know, because we don't need to have this hidden anymore. It's been hidden too long. Too many people are damaged. And it goes on for generation to generation to generation. And you know, I was reading statistics about it. They said a lot of the kids that molest other kids
It was because they were
molested themselves.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you know, and I want to read the signs that they said are. They say when children are molested, this is what you look for: depression, anxiety, anger. Kids that lose their appetite, withdrawal from normal activity, malnutrition, fear of certain places and certain places to go or people. They'll start to withdraw. They don't want these people around. Bedwetting, night sweats, nightmares. These are some of the things, thoughts of suicide. This is what this breeds. And that's why it is so important for us to tell the story and show how they can recover, because there is recovery within it, right?
There is. It just takes time to get there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because you said I was withdrawn. You know me,
Right.
so you wouldn't know that about me. But when I was younger, I was withdrawn. I would stay to myself. I would be quiet. I would fight all the time.
Oh,
lot of anger.
wow.
I would
Yeah.
A lot
fight
of
all
anger.
the time.
Underneath
I
that.
mean, I didn't care.
Yeah.
I fight you in church. I didn't care where we was. I would fight.
Wow.
And
Wow.
I would just stay mostly to myself majority of the time. You know, certain cousins I would hang around with, one cousin, and otherwise than that, I was basically to myself, or try to avoid. I would try to avoid being at home because that's where all my torment was.
Oh, wow.
So if I even remember a time leaving home, running away from home at 6, 7, I think it was, to my grandmother's house. And my mom came and got me. But she didn't know what to look for. She didn't notice no signs. And brought me back home.
Wow.
So I'm back. I left my torment, but for her to bring me back to it. And at the same time, the fear to speak up. So what I've done with my children, I tell them, I've told them since they were little, I don't care what anybody touches you, and when you're, you know, as they're younger, you know, your private spaces, your personal spaces.
Right.
If anybody touches you in your private, personal area, you feel uncomfortable, come tell me. I don't care what they say. And as parents, that's what we have to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we have to tell our kids, I don't care what it is, come and tell me. I don't care. If you don't feel comfortable with that person around you, don't feel comfortable with that person touching you, let me know. And that's what I did with my kids. They tell
Your
me more than
grandkids, everything.
grandkids, everybody. They tell me sometimes now that they're grown more things that I want to know, but
Of course.
but that was something that I did instill with them, that you can come talk to me about anything. I don't care what it is. I don't care what anybody tells you. If somebody say, well, you know, if it's somebody they know, they say, well, I'm going to do something to your mom. Don't worry about them doing that to me. I'm going to do something to them before they can do it to me.
Right.
And come let me know.
Exactly.
And we have to tell our children that, because we want our children to be empowered to the point where if somebody touches them and they threaten them to the point where I'm going to hurt your mom, I'm going to hurt your dad, because as a child, hurting my mom and dad, that's my everything. So we have to get that in their minds, that mindset where regardless to what they say, I'm not going to be hurt. I want to
Right.
do what I can do to help you. So if somebody's hurting you, regardless if they say go on and hurt me,
Right.
make sure you come and tell me.
Right.
Because mama can handle it, daddy can handle it a whole lot better than you can.
Exactly.
And I can get this taken care of where it won't happen to you anymore. And that's what we have to do. And that's what I did with mine.
That's good. That's good information, because, you know, a lot of times the conversation doesn't come up. Because if you've never gone through it, you know, in this day and age, kids are seeing so much more on TV,
Too much more on TV.
on videos, and things are becoming so regular to do things. I see on the
Desensitized.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I see Facebook and I see parents doing things in front of kids that are so inappropriate, I think, because you need to teach them some sort of decency, some sort of
Right and wrong.
right and
Right.
wrong.
Exactly.
Exactly. It's like, you know, too many times I see this. It's like morals and everything is going to. I'm not a person that preaches. I'm very open, and my kids know that. I'm very straight with them. But I believe there has to be some lines.
Well, they're kids, so you need to give them some boundaries.
Thank you.
They need
There it is.
boundaries.
There it is.
Children have to have boundaries just so they know what to expect and what not to expect. If we don't give them any boundaries, they're to accept anything.
Yeah, and it
So-
seems like these parents, it's like in the clouds, like, do you not know there are predators out there? And it could be your uncle. It could be this. It could be that. It could be
times
somebody
it's
from
your
the
people you
church.
know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
the
could be
people the
somebody at the
closest
church.
to you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, you know, it's so important to tell them this. It's so important to give them a sense of strength and knowing that if you come to me, I will deal with this. So, you
It's
know,
very important.
yeah, and your grandmother saying, tell me that again, because I kind of like that. I might take that.
You can take it. You can use it. It helped me through a lot of things. She was always telling me my greatest revenge was my success.
So for everybody out there that someone is telling you that you can't make it, you never will be nothing, you are whatever negative conversation that's coming out their mouth, remember, your greatest success,
Your greatest revenge.
your greatest revenge
is your success.
is your success.
Because everything, I was always told, I mean, because where we grew up in our neighborhood in Detroit, girls I hung out with, their parents would tell me, you're not going to graduate. Oh, I'm not. Why? Because your mom is a drug addict. What does that have to do with me graduating?
What kind of
Wow.
thing is that to say to somebody?
You know, and I'm pregnant with a baby. You don't need to have a baby. Why don't I need to have a baby? And your daughter's pregnant at the same time. I'm pregnant. She doesn't need to have one either. But that's different. How is it different? Because your mom is on drugs. So you can't have a baby. Because if you have a baby, you're going to drop out of school and you're not going to be successful and you're not going to make it. Okay. So what did I do? I graduated
Tell
high
'em,
school.
girl.
There you go.
I walked down the street in my cap and gown with my diploma in my hand because they said I wasn't going to do it. Did their daughter graduate? Anyway,
Oh, wow. Okay.
and my mom is a drug addict at that time.
Right.
So you can't, I always took what my grandmother said and then it would just give me fuel when they would tell me what I couldn't do.
I know, because you've been to college, have a degree,
Yeah,
and
couple of
everything.
degrees. Couple of
degrees.
So it's like, how you gonna tell? I mean, I understand that they have the college course, sociology. Your social environment makes you who you are, but not all the time.
Yeah.
Because if I went by the book and by my neighborhood and by everything I heard, I would be a drug addict. I wouldn't have anything. I would probably be I'm supposed to be in a crazy house somewhere because I was molested all those years. And I actually, one more piece to the puzzle. After I had my kids, went to the doctor, got checked up, OBGYN. I was told I wasn't supposed to have any kids
Oh, wow. Why?
because I was so messed up inside. And the doctor asked me, he said,
Wow.
do you have kids? I said, yeah, 3. He said, wow, I don't know how.
Wow.
Wow. That's pretty deep.
I was like,
Tina.
huh? He said, I don't know how. He said, because your insides are so messed up, I don't know how you had one child.
Wow.
So, according to everything that man say, I wasn't supposed to be where I am today. But God said I was
Tell
going
it.
to have kids. He said I was going to be successful. That's why I praying grandmama in the Bible and her dragging me to church. That was my drug habit. She drugged me to Sunday school. She drugged me to choir rehearsal. She drugged me to Ursha board meeting. She drugged me to Bible study. That was my drug
She
habit.
was head of the music ministry,
And she
right?
was the minister of music. So I was at everything at church. And with her instilling the morals that she instilled into me, helped me be who I am. And then it later on helped me, as I grew in God's word, helped me to understand that, yeah, I had those things happen to me. But they didn't break me. They made me
Yes.
who I am, who
Right.
God had a purpose for me to be,
Right.
to come out and to be able to say, but God, if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here.
Amen. Amen.
For sure.
So also, tell me, how did you get over the pains of, I know a lot of young women who have been molested have a problem with men in general. So how did you get, because sometimes they end up not being with men anymore. They go to women. As far as I know, you love men.
I love
I
men.
stick around all the
I'll
time.
stick around. I'll become extremely promiscuous. That's so true.
And you know what? Part of the sleeping around all the time promiscuous is part of it.
Being promiscuous?
Yes, because it was something that was woke up in them when they were molested that they didn't know how to deal with, and that urge was like a woman with her husband. You want that urge fulfilled,
Right.
and they go out and they try to fulfill that urge that they get however they can.
Yeah.
So that's why some of them are so promiscuous. And they can't, I mean, they have to know that's part of it
Right.
in order to get over it.
They do say kids, one of the signs is they start
Promiscuous.
playing with themselves. You know, what's it called? Masturbating.
Masturbating.
Yeah.
But that's not just that for that, because some kids do it when they're younger because they like the way it feels.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know. That's, they said that was one of the
Yeah,
signs.
but that is, but if they're doing it out of nowhere, I would, if I was a parent, I would go and talk to them and find out what's going on. If they have to use a puppet to do it, or a doll or something and ask questions, I would do that. Because that's the way that, I mean, they might not understand all the words that they're saying, but if you take a doll or a puppet or something and say, well, did somebody touch you here, here, or here? Then they can say yes,
Right.
yes, or no.
Right.
Yeah.
That's making
You
a
know,
safe
Yeah.
environment.
You make
for them
it,
to
you
say
do
it.
that, and that's the way that you have to deal with little kids sometime in order for them to feel comfortable in explaining it. So
But with the men,
with the man is they kind of don't like.
what's the stages you go through with
You
that?
just go through stages. I mean, it's just stages. I mean,
'Cause I know a lot of
went
these
through
women-
those
yeah,
stages.
okay.
I mean,
Tell us about it, because,
you look for love in all the wrong
Right.
places and all the wrong faces. You're just trying to fulfill that need that you have,
right,
Wow.
and then
to finally get loved.
to get
Yeah.
love, if that's what you want, if you're not afraid of love,
What you mean
Yeah.
by that?
because it depends on the molester, on how much he has brainwashed you. That's the only way I can put it, is brainwashed, because they say and do certain things, and at a younger age you tend to believe what they're telling you and what they're doing. Like I said, my stepfather, he was molesting me, and at the same time he studied telling me, I love you, you know I love you, right? I love you, you know I love you, I love you, and you could get everything you want, you know I love you. But at the same time, I'm like, love? If this is love? As I got older,
Love hurts.
I don't want love.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't want anything to do with love. For what?
Yeah.
Because if this is what love is, if I get to the point where I would get to a point where I felt like I was in love, falling for somebody, I'd leave the relationship. You wouldn't see me no more, because love was pain to me. It was just hurt and pain. So why do I want to be in a relationship where I'm starting to fall in love when I know it ain't gonna be nothing but pain? Why do I want to talk on the phone with somebody that I know all this is pain? So where most girls get on, teenage girls get on the phone and they talk to their boyfriend in middle school and stuff. I didn't even want a boyfriend. I wasn't one of those talk on. No, that wasn't me.
That had to have been tough on your relationships.
What relationship? I didn't have one.
I mean, well, yeah, trying to have one.
Didn't
Yeah.
want one,
Yeah.
because relationships and getting close to somebody meant pain and hurt, and I didn't want to deal with that.
Yeah.
So how did you recover?
It was a process that I just had to go through and just start dating. And then when I get to that stage, I'm like, okay, Lord, you're going to have to help me through this part. Because
I think that's all
I'm
of
gonna
us.
I'm gonna run. I'm
Right.
gonna run, and I'm gonna run fast, and I'm going to do something that's gonna cause him either to leave or I'm gonna leave.
Right.
So I'm gonna pick a fight. I'm gonna do something that I know he doesn't like.
You still do this? Not really.
Not like
no.
I used to. No.
No, yeah.
Oh.
But I used to. I would pick a fight.
Because
I
it's
would
coming
find-
across like you're still doing it.
I would,
I wanted to clear it up because I don't see that of you.
I would find
I see you
something.
spoiling people.
I would find something to do to push that person away.
Yeah. But now
Wow.
you spoil them, huh?
Well,
You always cooking. That lemon cheesecake, Lord.
No, the gumbo.
Oh, the gumbo too.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
say
You know
about
you
that.
make a meal, yeah. That's he be begging for that around his birthday every year.
every year.
That's right. Don't forget that big pot.
No, you're amazing. You're just
You
an
are.
amazing woman. So kind, so giving. I mean, there's nothing you won't do. And, you know, you don't let anybody push you over. you'll put them in check.
Well,
And I get that. We totally get that.
Well,
I'm the same way.
that's a Detroit in her.
Yeah.
So.
No, she just told me I'm the same way, and it's so true. That's why we hit it off from day one. And you're such a businesswoman, because that's another reason we hit it off over 25 years ago.
yeah.
Yeah, 20-something.
Wow.
Definitely a
Yes,
go-getter.
over 25 years, yes.
You're a go-getter.
Yeah, both of us are go-getters, and you're always traveling, Miss
That's
Traveler.
fun.
Hey, we have a call that's coming in.
Okay,
Let's
go ahead.
take this real quick. Hello, thank you for calling Recovery Switch. Caller, who's speaking?
Scotty Grand.
Scotty. All right. How you doing, Scotty?
How are you?
All
I'm
right.
fine.
I'm loving the show.
I'm glad you're loving
we
the show.
love you.
Thank you for tuning in.
love
Thank you
you
for tuning in. We appreciate that.
Awesome. Well, I'm just calling to try and just, I guess, speak my piece a little bit. I've had some experience with this situation, not with myself per se, but in my extended family, and I've got to sit and watch it do so much third-party damage.
That's so true.
And
That is true, too.
from both sides of this person feels like Watina's saying, neglected, and how is this love? And then the person who did the deed, they're destroying themselves because they had a moment of weakness and they don't understand how they could have done it. And it just destroys everything from like inside out. And I was just trying to call and just say, when people do these things, I don't know the answer, I don't know the rhyme, I don't know the reason, but people do change. And that same guy that, is helping that person, the victim, get through it, hopefully that same guy is helping the person who did the deed
Very true.
never do it again and want to be completely better.
That's true.
You know?
Real.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to speak for those people, because I watched both sides cry their eyes out, and their whole relationship is ruined, and seems like there's no kind of way to get back on solid ground. But hopefully that guy is helping both of those people.
That's a good point.
That's a good
Yeah,
point,
that's
Scotty.
very
That's that's a really good point.
Absolutely.
Because that person is broken in some way too.
Yes.
That person
Yeah.
is to actually do that. That person was a silent
Yeah.
cry inside of them that they probably haven't spoke about, that which causes them to now do this to this
Exactly.
person. Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah.
It's like
I
it's,
believe in therapy.
yes, you do.
100%.
Yes, you do.
does
No,
help.
seriously,
Therapy
that's
does help.
everything.
Yeah, no, there's collateral damage everywhere with this
Yes.
type of situation.
Collateral damage,
So
exactly.
everybody got something.
Yes.
Yeah, no, Scotty, I appreciate your thought on that, because
Yeah,
that is
'cause-
such a good point.
We don't think about that.
Yeah.
We really
and
don't.
I'm listening, and I'm like, I happen to be a gay guy, and I've always, weirdly, I've never been molested or touched in any kind of way, and I used to hate that I had it. I used to hate that I hadn't, because I was like, well, why? I'm gay and nobody touched me, and I was kind of regretful of that,
Oh,
in the sense of like I wanted to blame somebody on me having an issue or something,
Right.
Yeah.
and sometimes I see some people when they do, and I know some of them in my family, they're so regretful for something that they really just had a horrible moment in their psyche that broke down, and they did this horrible act that really defined their entire existence after that. And like life is supposed to be about changing and learning from those mistakes, even when they're that grave.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, we will be talking to you further, because you're going to come and play your music on here, right?
For real.
Absolutely.
Don't even try playing that. You ain't.
Don't be a stranger.
If this ain't love.
Scotty.
Yeah, you're gonna play some of your music on this radio, Scotty.
Yeah.
Love y'all. Love
love
it.
you.
Love it.
Love
Y'all
you.
keep it up. It's amazing.
Thank you for
Bringing
calling.
these topics up. People need to talk about them. It's awesome. Keep it up. Love
Thank
Mama.
you,
Great.
babe. Love you.
Love you. Appreciate the call.
So I want to thank everyone for coming and listening to the Recovery Switch. I hope we gave you some revelation, some insight on the subject of sexual abuse and drug addicted parents. And I want you to know that you can recover. Anything is possible. We have another call. We'll do it real quick,
Real
but we
quick,
have to
real
get
quick.
off the air.
Yeah.
Hey.
There we go.
Hello.
Hello?
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, I am calling in. I'm listening to your show, and I'm just totally moved by your show, and I'm grateful that there's a show on the radio like this, and I love watching you guys.
Isn't that awesome?
Great.
Thank you so much for calling in and giving us the support, because it's the first show and we want to make a difference in out here. So thank you.
Yes, well, thank you guys. Bye-bye.
Bye
All
bye.
right. Take care.
So again, thank you for coming to the Recovery Switch, and every day make it a blessed day. God is amazing, and we'll see you next week.